Imagine a world on the cusp of destruction where every breath is haunted by an impending fate. This is where our journey begins, with a vision, a prophecy whispered from the edge of time. The seeress, an ancient oracle feared and revered across the realms, closed her eyes and saw a future no god dared to imagine. She spoke of Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods, their inevitable demise. Her words were not just a warning, they were a death sentence. Imagine Odin, the All-Father himself, hearing this chilling vision. The mighty Thor, with his hammer Mjolnir, facing a battle he could not win. Loki, the trickster, his destiny intricately woven into this apocalyptic tapestry. Could anything be done? And then, silence. The gods, for a moment, were struck still, knowing their end was no longer a matter of if, but when. Driven by desperation, Odin embarked on a perilous quest for knowledge. For Odin, the All-Father, there was no price too high in his pursuit to understand, or even alter, fate. He sacrificed an eye for wisdom at Mimir's well, he hung on the world tree, Yggdrasil, for 9 nights, pierced by his own spear. But why? Because he knew that knowledge could be the only weapon against the prophecy. Can you imagine a god, willing to endure such agony, just for a glimpse of the future? His quest took him to uncharted territories, to the realms of the dead and across the cosmos. Yet, with each revelation, Odin's hope dwindled. The prophecy. It was inescapable. He discovered that Ragnarok was more than just an end, it was a rebirth. But before the dawn, there must come a night. How does one tell a pantheon of immortal beings that their days are numbered? Odin returned to Asgard, the weight of his newfound knowledge a tangible burden. The doom was foretold, and it was time for the gods to know. The seeress had said it plainly, Fenrir, the monstrous wolf, would devour the sun. Jormungandr, the World Serpent, would rise from the sea. Hel would unleash her army of the dead. And Loki would be free. Each god would face their own doom, and none would survive. But perhaps the most harrowing truth was that the end was not far off. The signs were already manifesting, Fimbulwinter approached, an endless winter marking the beginning of the end. What would they do with such dire knowledge? The gods were at a crossroads, and every decision they made from this moment forward had a shadow. Silence. Then disbelief. Could the prophecy really be true? Thor clenched his fists, anger boiling beneath his skin. Others, like Freya, wept for the beauty of the world that would be lost. And Loki, what of him? Did he smile at the chaos his destiny would wreak, or was he silent, knowing the chains that bound him would one day break? The halls of Asgard echoed with a fear never before felt. Some gods plotted to defy the prophecy, while others sought solace in each other's company. But all were united by a singular, unshakable truth: their days of glory were numbered. And in the shadows, whispers spread. What if this was all part of something greater? The prophecy was a bitter pill to swallow, but it also became a rallying cry. As the gods grappled with their fate, the shadow of Ragnarok loomed ever closer. Each passing moment brought them nearer to the brink. The signs foretold by the seeress began to unfold. A wolf's howl echoed across the night sky, the winds howled with a chilling finality. The sun and moon. They seemed dimmer, as if the world itself was holding its breath. Every decision, every action, from this point forth would lead them inexorably to that fateful battlefield. Could they change their destiny, or were they simply players in a cosmic script written long before their time? This was the shadow of Ragnarok, a dark omen cast over all of existence. But as dark as it was, it also promised an end and a beginning. And what of the world after? In the distance, a faint glimmer of hope, a new world, a new dawn. Everything turned to ice. The once fertile lands of Midgard were swallowed by a relentless snowstorm. One that never ceased. This was Fimbulwinter, a harbinger of the end, where harsh blizzards blanketed the earth in a perpetual white. 3 years without spring, without respite, and without warmth. Every living thing suffered. Families huddled together in their homes, fires burning low as resources dwindled. But this was just the beginning. The gods had foreseen this, a chilling prelude to their doom. As the winds howled through the barren lands, farmers could do nothing but watch their crops wither and die, livestock freeze where they stood. And so, the people turned to the skies for answers. But who could withstand such wrath? No man, no beast, no god. They had all heard the prophecy. They knew this was just one of many signs that Ragnarok was upon them. But still, they hoped. The sky churned with mystery and dread. In the deep, celestial vastness, 2 wolves, Skoll and Hati, raced across the heavens. But these were no ordinary wolves. Their eyes burned with an insatiable hunger. And soon, they would catch their prey. The sun and moon, those eternal orbs that gave life to the world, were doomed. As Skoll closed in on the sun and Hati pursued the moon, a cosmic chase of legend was about to reach its inevitable end. Daylight dimmed, replaced by an eerie twilight. In a matter of moments, the world was plunged into darkness. People watched helplessly as the harbingers of night swallowed the sky. Was this truly the end? As the wolves' jaws closed around their prey, the celestial bodies vanished. The sky, once a canvas of light, was now an abyss. Deep within the bowels of the earth, chains rattled ominously. Loki, the trickster god, was bound in punishment for his past transgressions. Bound. But not broken. But then, a tremor, a shift in the earth itself, signaled his moment of release. The serpent venom that dripped from above had been his torment. Now, it was his salvation. With a roar that shook the heavens, Loki broke his bonds. And with him, chaos was loosed upon the world. Was it fate or folly that allowed him to escape? It mattered not. For he was free to unleash his vengeance upon the gods who had wronged him. With a cunning mind and a vengeful heart, Loki set his plans into motion, knowing full well the part he would play in the great reckoning. In the frozen wastes of Jotunheim, the ground trembled. From the depths of slumber, the giants were stirring. Ancient and powerful, these colossal beings were the sworn enemies of the gods. With Fimbulwinter as their ally, they rose from the ice, awakened by the call of Ragnarok. Their hearts beat with a single purpose, to bring an end to the dominance of the Aesir. The giants, thirsty for battle and vengeance, assembled their forces. From the peaks of mountains and the depths of oceans, they emerged in droves. Was there any hope left for the gods? As the giants marched, each step resonated with the promise of destruction. They were coming not as isolated juggernauts, but as an army, united under one monstrous cause. In the shadowy realm of Hell, a ship unlike any other was being built. Naglfar, crafted from the nails of the dead, was nearing completion. As Loki's machinations took shape, this vessel would serve as his chariot of war. Fear gripped the hearts of gods and men alike. For when Naglfar set sail, it meant only one thing: the end was nigh. The ship's timbers groaned under the weight of its morbid cargo, a fitting fleet for the apocalypse. As the sea surged around it, dark specters lined its decks, ready to wreak havoc upon the living world. As the ship drifted into the mist, a single thought pervaded the minds of all: how do you fight the inevitable? This vessel, an omen of despair, was about to set forth on its cursed voyage. And with it, the world teetered on the brink of annihilation. Amidst the chaos of clashing steel and echoing roars, Thor stood firm. His hammer, Mjolnir, pulsed with energy, a beacon in the gloom of battle. Facing him was Jormungandr, the World Serpent, its colossal form coiling with a serpentine grace that belied its terrifying power. This was more than a battle, it was destiny unfolding. Thor, his eyes blazing like the sun about to be devoured, hurled himself at the serpent. Every blow of Mjolnir was a thunderclap, each strike resonating across the land. But Jormungandr was no ordinary beast. It retaliated with venomous breath, a toxic miasma that darkened the air. Neither would yield. Thor's might was legendary, yet here, on the brink of Ragnarok, it met its ultimate challenge. As Jormungandr bared its fangs with a hiss that split the skies, Thor summoned every ounce of Asgardian strength. The earth quaked as Mjolnir delivered a final, devastating blow. But victory bore a heavy price. The serpent's deadly poison seeped through Thor's veins. Breathless, he staggered back, knowing his life too would be claimed. And then silence. In the heart of the battlefield, Odin faced his fated nemesis, Fenrir, the monstrous wolf destined to consume him. The All-Father, bearing the weight of countless prophecies, confronted the beast with an unwavering resolve. Fenrir, massive and unyielding, mirrored Odin's intensity with a primal savagery. Their clash was one of raw power against divine will. Odin, spear in hand, launched his assault with a calculated precision born of centuries of wisdom. The ground trembled as Fenrir lunged, jaws wide and eyes burning with unbridled fury. The battle was a dance of life and death, God versus beast, with no quarter given. For a moment, it seemed the All-Father's strategic prowess might turn the tide, but fate had other plans. Fenrir, in a surge of sheer primal strength, reared up and, with a devastating snap, swallowed Odin whole. The prophecy was fulfilled, the sky darkened, and the heart of Asgard grew still. Elsewhere, the god Freyr stood against Surtr, the fire giant whose fiery wrath heralded the world's end. Surtr, with his flaming sword, was a terrifying figure, a harbinger of destruction. Freyr, though noble and brave, faced him unarmed, having given his weapon to his servant, a decision that now tasted of bitter irony. As Surtr advanced, each step left scorched earth in its wake. Freyr, undaunted, charged with valiant desperation. But the fates were cruel. Surtr's blade, an inferno unto itself, found its mark with ease. The battle was swift, brutal, and Freyr fell. Yet in that moment, as Surtr prepared to unleash his apocalyptic blaze, Freyr's sacrifice resonated, a fleeting but immortal testament to courage in the face of inevitable doom. Amongst the tumult, Heimdall, guardian of the Bifrost, encountered Loki. Their history was intertwined, brothers in arms, now adversaries in Ragnarok's shadow. Loki, trickster and bane of gods, faced Heimdall with a smirk that belied the chaos within. Their duel was a study in contrasts, discipline versus chaos, order versus anarchy. Heimdall, horn in hand, fought with a precision that matched his duty-bound spirit. Yet Loki's cunning was a formidable foe. As they clashed, neither gave ground. The air crackled with tension, each strike a symphony of discord. But it was destined that they should fall together. As Heimdall landed a mortal blow, Loki, with one last act of defiance, struck true. The end came swiftly, both champions meeting their end in a shared, silent embrace of oblivion. Vigrid Plain, a canvas of destruction painted with the blood of gods and beasts alike. The air was thick with smoke and the cries of the fallen. Heroes and monsters, once the stuff of legend, lay scattered like leaves in the wind. The ground itself seemed to tremble under the weight of history rewritten in carnage. Yet even amid the ruin, there was a terrible beauty to the chaos. This was Ragnarok, the twilight of everything. Surtur raised his sword, and with a sweep that seemed to cut the very fabric of reality, the world was set alight. Flames leapt skyward, devouring all in their path. As the inferno spread, the seas roiled, swallowing the land with an insatiable fury. And then a hush fell over creation. Everything was ending. Or was it beginning? The destruction was total, and yet, out of this despair, a new hope flickered. But what could possibly rise from such ashes? You'll need to see it to believe it. The skies above Vigrid turned to crimson. All eyes fell upon Surtur, the fire giant. His sword blazed with the intensity of 1,000 suns, casting long shadows across the battlefield. The time had come. The fire he wielded was no ordinary flame. It was the all-consuming inferno destined to end the world. As he swung his sword, the air itself screamed, igniting everything it touched. The trees, the earth, even the very air shimmered into a sea of flames. But why did the gods not flee? Because they knew, they understood, there was no escape from prophecy. Surtur's task was clear. The cruel dance of destiny had placed him at the center of it all, ensuring that nothing was left but ash. High above, the palaces of Asgard stood as testaments to divine power. But even they could not withstand the onslaught. With each tremor of the earth, their foundations cracked. Imagine Odin's great hall, once a place of feasts and fabled gatherings, now crumbling under its own weight. The god's citadel, their sanctuary, was falling. But was it merely a physical collapse? No, it symbolized the very end of their era, their power, their existence. The treasures of Asgard burned like mere kindling, turning to smoke that mingled with the stormy skies. And as the golden city fell, it was not just the structures that were lost, it was hope, faith, and an entire way of life. Imagine standing at the edge of the world and watching as the seas rise to claim everything. This was no simple flood. It was the ocean's insatiable hunger, devouring land, cities, even mountains. The sky's fury matched the sea's wrath as thunder roared and lightning fractured the heavens. Once mighty, now powerless, the gods could only watch as the elements they once controlled turned against them. Water, an unyielding force, swallowed the earth whole. Was this destruction? Or rebirth? An answer lost to the torrents. And in the chaos, the earth itself began to tremble, as if weeping for its fate. And then silence. The flames had died, the waters receded. But the world lay quiet, wrapped in the eerie stillness of aftermath. What once was a battlefield was now a desolate wasteland, devoid of life and sound. The air was thick with the ashes of what used to be. Can silence scream? Here, it did. It was the silence of loss, profound, deep, and absolute. There were no gods left to mourn, no heroes to sing of victory. Just the quiet, endless as the void itself. The end had come. Or had it? For in silence, seeds of a new beginning often lie hidden. As the last embers of the old world flickered out, a new dawn teetered on the horizon. But what would rise from these ashes? The Norse gods were gone, their storied reign ended with fire and flood. Yet, in the depths of despair, a whisper of resilience lingered. The world had been cleansed, reset. And two humans survived, Lif and Liftrazor, hidden deep within Yggdrasil's protective boughs. Their survival was a promise that life would continue. But how did they endure when gods could not? As the story of Ragnarok closes, the echo of its lessons endures. Why does this ancient tale still resonate today? That is a story yet to unfold. After the cataclysmic fires and the overwhelming ocean swells. Silence. The world appears barren, lifeless. But in the stillness, something remarkable unfolds. Slowly, land emerges from beneath the waves, a fresh world, reborn from chaos. Mountains rise majestically, forests take root, and rivers dance once more. This is not just any world, it's a new beginning. The cycle of Ragnarok has ended, and with it, the promise of renewal is fulfilled. The Norse foresaw this resurgence, offering a glimmer of hope amidst the bleakness. Consider this: from utter destruction springs life anew, a testament to resilience. Nature has reclaimed its throne, and it's as though the very essence of what once was has returned, transformed. Purified. It's a scene of profound wonder, and yet, what becomes of humanity? Deep within the sacred ash tree Yggdrasil, two figures awaken. Lif and Liftrazor, humanity's last hope. Their names mean life and life yearner, and fittingly so, they are to be the genesis of a new human race. In the shadows of Yggdrasil's mighty branches, they remained untouched by the devastation around them, nourished by the morning dew. Their survival is not mere chance, it is destiny. Emerging into this rejuvenated world, they carry the weight of humanity's continuity upon their shoulders. Imagine standing barefoot on fresh earth, the air crisp, horizons endless. It's a story of survival against all odds, an echo of the Norse belief that life endures. Yet, who are these survivors to us? Could they be symbols, representations of our innate will to thrive? With the rebirth of the world, the gods' legacy lingers in the air. Their stories, etched into the cosmos, continue to shape the fabric of the new realm. But what of the slain deities, Odin, Thor, Loki? They are not gone. Not truly. Their legends persist, whispered through the winds, carried by the tides. It begs a question: what is a god if not the embodiment of enduring ideals and narratives? The gods, though fallen, remain immortal within the hearts and minds of the living. The lessons of their victories, faults, and ultimate sacrifices are eternal. This legacy, left in the wake of Ragnarok, is a reminder of the cyclical nature of life, death, and the unbroken chain of stories that connect us all. What stories will the new world tell? Which gods, if any, will rise again? Ragnarok's narrative has transcended time, infiltrating our modern psyche through popular culture. Marvel's cinematic universe, with its thunderous rendition of Thor, draws from these ancient myths, bringing them to life with a modern twist. Video games, like God of War, weave these tales into interactive experiences, allowing players to step into the shoes of gods and giants. But why does this ancient apocalyptic saga resonate so deeply? Perhaps it's the timeless themes of struggle, renewal, and the promise of rebirth. Or is it the thrilling clash of titans, an eternal battle between good and evil? Whatever the reason, Ragnarok continues to captivate, proving that tales once spun around firelit gatherings still have the power to ignite imaginations. As we close this chapter on Ragnarok, we find ourselves reflecting on the stories that define us. With each telling, these myths evolve, gripping new audiences, reshaping old worlds. The Myth Archive aims to preserve and present such narratives, allowing their eternal wisdom to guide us. So, what have we learned from Ragnarok? It's not just a story of doom, but a powerful allegory of hope, resilience, and rebirth. A reminder that even in destruction, there is potential for new beginnings. We invite you to delve deeper, explore wider, and embrace the stories that once formed the backbone of civilizations. Subscribe, share, and join us as we unravel the many threads of mythology. Who knows? What stories will you find next?